There's a roll of paper hanging on your bathroom wall, soft, quilted, 3-ply if you're fancy. You have never once thanked it. Now, meet the Romans. They solved almost everything, but not this. They built aqueducts that ran for 50 miles. They heated their floors from below. They ran a city of 1 million people 2,000 years ago, and at the most private moment of the day, they reached for a sponge on a stick, a shared one. This is how the greatest empire on earth handled the one topic nobody puts in the history books. It ends with an emperor sniffing a coin and a phrase you still use today. Now grab a roll, we're going to Rome. You're an ordinary Roman, a baker's assistant, let's say. You live on the 4th floor of an insula, an apartment block with cracked walls and a landlord who raises the rent anyway. Some things never change. Below your window, the street never sleeps. Carts are banned from Rome during the day, so they thunder through all night instead. Your place has 1 room, 1 window, and 0 bathrooms. Running water exists for the rich people on the ground floor. And this morning, right after breakfast, your stomach files an official complaint. Urgent, non-negotiable. You have about 10 minutes. Your options, ranked by dignity. 1. The chamber pot under the bed. Fine for the night, but it's full. And where that goes, we'll get to. Trust me. 2. Any dark alley. Technically illegal. Universally practiced. 3. The public latrine down the street. You're a respectable Roman. Latrine it is. Grab your cloak. You're about to attend the most social event of your morning. The forica is easy to find. Follow your nose, then follow the laughter. Inside, a marble bench runs along 3 walls, 20 round holes. No dividers, no doors, no personal space. Currently seated, your neighbor Marcus, 2 dock workers, an off-duty legionary, and an old man who possibly lives here. Marcus waves at you, mid-business. Everyone's chatting. Grain prices, chariot races, somebody's divorce. Romans don't find this shameful. A latrine is infrastructure, like a fountain, and there are only about 140 of them for a city of 1 million people. Deals are made on this bench. Dinner invitations, business partnerships. History does not record how many Roman handshakes happened in here. You take the free hole between 2 strangers. Privacy hasn't been invented yet, neither has awkward silence. Now, before you judge them, look under the bench. Running water, flowing constantly, day and night, carrying everything into the Cloaca Maxima, Rome's great sewer, dug around 600 BC. That drain is nearly 7 centuries older than the Colosseum, and parts of it still carry water under Rome today, 2,600 years later. Your city's pipes should live so long. 9 aqueducts pour water into the city around the clock. Per person, more than some modern cities manage, and the Romans were so proud of their sewer, they put a goddess in charge of it. Venus Cloacina, Venus of the drain. She had her own shrine in the forum. They stamped her on coins, a goddess, for the sewer. Business concluded. You look around for paper. There is none. There won't be for a very long time. The Chinese will get there in about 5 centuries, and the modern roll won't exist until the 1890s. Rome improvised. Next to the bench sits a bucket. In the bucket, a wooden stick. On the stick, a sea sponge, the tersorium. You rinse it in the little water channel at your feet, reach through the keyhole-shaped slot at the front of your seat. Thoughtful design. No need to stand up, and you take care of things. Then you rinse the sponge and put it back for the next person. The old man who lives here used it 20 minutes ago. So did both dock workers. And the sponge is still not the worst part. Remember, you are sitting on a direct, open connection to the city sewer. No water seal, no U-bend, just you, a hole, and everything that lives down there. Rats, obviously, but Romans feared worse. They believed demons lived in the sewers, actual spirits that could reach up during your most defenseless moment. Latrine walls carried protective spells, and paintings of the goddess Fortuna stood guard over the benches. One Roman writer even swears that in a seaside town, an octopus climbed up the pipes every night into a merchant's house, eat his salted fish. Is the story true? Almost certainly not. Did every Roman who heard it check the hole before sitting down? Absolutely. And don't think the Romans didn't see the comedy in all this. In Ostia, Rome's port town, there's a bathhouse where the walls are painted with the 7 sages of Greece, the most revered philosophers of the ancient world. Each one seated, each one dispensing solemn wisdom about this, specifically. Solon, father of Athenian democracy, rub your belly for a smoother experience. Thales, the first philosopher in history, if it's not working, push harder. Kilon of Sparta, master the art of the silent fart. This is real. It's on a wall. You can visit it. 2,000 years before bathroom graffiti, Rome had already perfected it. On your way out, you rinse your hands at the fountain with water. Just water. Soap exists, but to Romans it's a weird foreign pomade barbarians put in their hair. Washing with it? Bizarre. When Romans want to get properly clean, they go to the baths, cover themselves in olive oil, and have the oil scraped off with a bronze blade called a strigil, like peeling a carrot, if the carrot paid for the privilege. Clean is relative. You feel great. You smell like a salad. That was the premium experience. Millions of Romans never make it to a latrine. For them, it's the chamber pot. And when the pot fills up, it goes out the window, onto the street, occasionally onto people. The poet Juvenal had genuine advice. Before walking through Rome at night, write your will, and count yourself lucky if only the contents hit you, and not the pot itself. This happened often enough that Roman law developed a dedicated lawsuit for it, the action for things poured or thrown from above. A legal system so used to flying waste, it printed forms for it. City walls carried graffiti, begging people not to go right there. Of course, not everyone shares a bench. Toilets have a class system, like everything in Rome. At Emperor Hadrian's countryside villa, archaeologists found the whole hierarchy in marble. Private single-seaters for the imperial family. Decorated latrines with actual dividers for the guests. And for the servants who kept the place running, rows of open holes, shoulder to shoulder. Same as yours. A city of 1 million people producing, let's call it, output on an industrial scale. You'd expect catastrophe. But Rome ran on a rule nobody ever wrote down. Everything is a business. A cesspit under your building, a manure dealer empties it and hauls it to the farms outside the walls, where it's sold as fertilizer, load by load. Your worst chore is another man's paycheck. And urine? Urine isn't even waste. Urine is liquid gold. Walk past the Fulanica, the Roman laundry, and you'll spot big clay jars parked on the corner outside. Free public urinals. How generous. Except they're not a courtesy. They're collection jars. Stale urine breaks down into ammonia, and ammonia strips grease and whitens wool better than anything else Rome has. Inside the shop, workers stand knee-deep in vats of the stuff, stomping togas like grapes at harvest. All day, every day. A strong candidate for the worst job in human history, but it works. That blinding white toga your senator wears while lecturing the forum about virtue, washed in urine. Roman white was pea white. Nobody said it out loud. Everybody knew. Now, rewind 30 years, because one man looked at all this and saw opportunity. Vespasian, emperor from 69 AD. Rome is broke. Civil war, fires, Nero's party bills. And Vespasian is a practical man. He looks at the urine business and does the most Roman thing imaginable. He taxes it. Anyone collecting urine from the public jars now pays the state. The empire starts earning real revenue from pee. His son Titus is horrified. "Father, we are taxing toilets. Where is your dignity?" Vespasian doesn't argue. He takes a coin from the first day's collection and holds it under his son's nose. Does it smell? No. Strange. It comes straight from the urine. Pecunia non olet. Money doesn't stink. That comeback outlived the Roman Empire. 2,000 years later, people still say it about every business that's profitable and a little bit dirty. Quote it in a boardroom today, and you're quoting an emperor defending his P-tax. And Vespasian got a monument better than any marble statue. Old public urinals in Paris are called Vespasiennes. In Italy, Vespasiani, an emperor, remembered forever by bathrooms. Somewhere in the afterlife, Titus is still embarrassed. His father is still counting the money. Which brings us back to that roll on your wall. Commercial toilet paper only showed up in 1857, and the perforated roll decades later. But look at what you actually own. A private room, a door that locks, a seat nobody shares, water that arrives clean and leaves quietly. No demons, no octopus, no Marcus waving at you mid-business. You are living in the luxury they built the plumbing for and never got to enjoy.